Welcome back to episode 3 of Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest. We're going to get started with Barrel Bayou. Wonder if we're going to run into Bayou Billy. I think that that's a game that probably should be brought to the... If it's not already, I don't think it is, but they should bring it to the NES collection thing on the Switch. It's not really like super incredible or whatever, but like it's cool. It's got like a really awesome like intro title card. Almost thought I was gonna lose my rhino there for a second. It was like, rock steady, no. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's got a really cool intro theme, and first level theme's really cool. Plus it's like, it's kind of loosely based on like Crocodile Dundee, and who doesn't love Crocodile Dundee? So we gotta follow the not so subtle arrow. This guy, after he like throws his load, throws a chest that has that cannonball in it, and then we can use that to use the, to do the bonus barrel. And it's just, like normal, just defeat all the enemies. Steadily building up our Crim Coin collection again. Should have enough to go to the next bonus area by the time we run into him again. If not, like, it'll be very quickly after that. These enemies so these enemies, there's several different varieties of them. The guys in the barrel, the green ones, when they hit you, they just knock you back. The yellow one, missed the barrel. The yellow ones, when they hit you, you lose bananas. And then the gray ones, when they hit you, you actually lose lives. You can collect the lives again, because it just knocks it knocks the bananas out of you, it also knocks the balloons out of you. But like, you have to grab them back, or else like it's the same as just like losing a life. I don't remember. Let me show you. Like, I don't remember how many there are in the game, but like, they do that. So you lose your bananas. And then like the gray ones, I don't know how many there are of those in the game. Try not to fall again. Oh, that was close. So, yeah, I don't know how many of the gray ones there are, but like, they can be a little frustrating if like you're, trying not to die, and like they hit you 4 or 5 times and you lose like 4 or 5 lives, and they fly off before you can get them back. So, just a cautionary tale, like, be cautious with them. Well, I was going to try and get that balloon. I feel like, I could be wrong. I kind of feel like the controls are a little slippier, like a little more slippery, on this port than they are in the original. Maybe it's just because of like not using the actual controller. Kind of have the same problem with the N64 ports, because like the control stick on the N64 controller was like very stiff. Just like every controller, the control stick always like springs back to center, but like it was like it didn't just spring back, it shot back into place. Isn't there? I thought there was like a balloon here. But yeah, I mean, that thing skyrocketed back to center So, of course, you know, I grew up playing with the N64 controller. I don't understand 100% why people hate that controller so much. I don't think it's all that bad, personally. You just kind of had to learn to use it. And I will say, to be fair, compared to the Super Nintendo controller and then the PlayStation controller, which was based off of the Super Nintendo controller, like, those were more comfortable for sure. But I don't think the N64 controller deserved as much hate as it got or gets. I think really the problem with a lot of N64 games is not really the controller so much as it's like it's a crapshoot as far as like what the controls were going to be like, because every game well, that was unexpected. Like, every game on the N64 controlled differently. And so, like, it's funny, like, when you look at, like, first-person shooters on the N64, just how, like, different each one of them controlled, even from, like, the same, like, company. Like, for an example, GoldenEye, and I've never played Perfect Dark, so I can't compare it, so I'm not really going to compare the two of those games. I'm just going to use the example of the vastly different controls of, like, GoldenEye versus, like, Turok the Dinosaur Hunter. And Turok the Dinosaur Hunter is actually a really good game, and I would recommend, you know, playing it on modern ports. I would not at all suggest playing the N64 version with the N64 controls, because those controls are pretty jacked up. Like, they're really confusing. You have to use the C buttons, which on, like, the Switch means, like, the right control stick to move Turok around, and then you aim with the left control stick. It's just a hot mess, and they give you the ability to swap to left-hand play. See, did I get everything? I forgot the DK coin. Isn't it like, I think it's actually at the end of the level, so I'm going to go back through this level real quick. I think it's like when you hit the end point, like the I don't know what that is, like the prize barrel thing, like at the end of the level. Like, I think it's in there. Like, sometimes they put DK coins and stuff there, and that can be really annoying because, like, if you failed to get it, like, you if you fail to get it, then you have to go through the entire level again. And, like, no one wants to do that right away, you know? Like, it'd be one thing if it was just like, oh yeah, it's like 5 seconds into the level, and then, you know, in Donkey Kong Country, once you've completed a level, you can just hit start select and exit the level. But no, I gotta actually play through the entire level again, which, to be fair, is not really that big of a deal, and it's actually not a big problem. This is a fun game. It's just kind of like it's a little obnoxious, I'm not gonna lie. But I've got time. I can play through the game. It's not a problem. I'm just gonna kind of zoom through. In fact, I might... No, I was gonna say I might edit it out, but, like, I didn't take a look at the time to see how long I actually really need to edit out. And, like, I'm already at the end of the level by this point. That took me like a minute. I guess it's not here. I don't remember. Maybe I'll remember it later. And if I do and I decide to come back, then I'll come back and get it. If not, then, you know, I never said it was going to be 100% anyway. I just said it might be. Dixie, I'm going to need a little more pep in your step. Anyway, yeah, so talking about Turok the Dinosaur Hunter. I'm just not going to get that. That's the DK coin over there. If I decide to get everything, I can come back and get it and just quickly exit the level. But, yeah, so the problem with switching the controls to left-handed is that, like, especially on, like, the Pro controller or even, like, the Joy-Cons, is that it made the controls for controlling Turok go from the right control stick to the D-pad, and the D-pad is literally underneath the left control stick, and the left control stick you have to use to aim. So it's kind of like, you know, it's just really bad. And to be fair, on the people who made the game, it's not like they designed it for the Pro controller, but I don't even know if they even really designed it for the N64 controller, because the controls are just pretty jacked up. And I try to be as fair as possible about it, because the game is actually really good. It's just the controls are really bad. And it doesn't matter how good a game is, if the controls are bad and it's unplayable, like, nobody's going to play it. I'm going to allude to, I think the VTuber's name is Finrin. She just did a playthrough of, well, not playthrough, but like, she did a ranking of N64 games, and she couldn't really get very far into Turok just simply because of how bad the controls are. It was actually pretty funny. But yeah, the controls they're pretty awful. So I recommend, if you're going to play Turok, to I'm not going to be able to get that bonus barrel because I don't have a buddy, but if you're going to play Turok, I would strongly suggest playing a modern port, because like it plays more like a modern first-person shooter. But skip Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. That game sucks. I don't know how the third game is. I think they ported it as well. I haven't gotten it yet, but Seeds of Evil is pretty bad. I hear a lot of people talk about how good it is, and I'm like, did we play the same game? Whoops. No, Turok 2 is pretty boring, and that's just my opinion, but, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion, just like everyone's entitled to be wrong, and people who like Turok 2 Seeds of Evil are just wrong. Like, honestly, I think it's more along the lines of, like, I don't know when the last time they played it was, because, like, it's one of those things where I think they remember it being really good, but there are better games in the world, way better games to play, and I would rather play the first Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter, any day of the week before I'd even, like, consider putting part 2 in. or on, because I've got the port of it. And to be fair, like, you know, it's got some good things going for it. It's just like, it's one of those things where it feels like they over-prepared and under-delivered. Because the, kind of feels like they over-prepared and under-delivered. Because there was a lot of really interesting ideas and concepts that were brought to the table, but then it was just kind of like the execution wasn't so great. Like, the enemies are kind of boring. They're all pretty much the same enemy. At the end of the day, like, every enemy is pretty much the same. They have, you know, palette swaps or, like, you know, skin swaps or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, they're pretty much the same. And anyone who's ever played the first Turok and knows about the Purlins, the big hulking enemies that are a big actual viable threat in the game, they just like get relegated to like regular enemy at one point. And just like the regular enemies, they only have to like shoot them once or twice with the pistol and that's it. Where like the Purlins in the original, like you had to use your heavier weapons to take care of them. But we're just cruising along in Donkey Kong Country 2. I don't really know how many episodes there's going to be of this as far as like to do a full playthrough. I'm kind of guesstimating around maybe 10. But that just depends on if I decide, you know, to go back and get the stuff I missed or not. Trying to keep them relatively in between 20-25 minutes because I think that that's, as far as like episode length goes, I think that's pretty much a decent episode length. It's just enough time for like, you know, progress to be made, but then it's not like, you know, a 2-hour video or something like that. If I ever play a role-playing game, I kind of, I don't know how I'm going to handle that. Like as far as like episode length, that's a really tricky jump there. The rest of this level can be very tricky, so yeah, there we go. Like from that point on, it's really tricky and it's like you gotta be really careful. But we're getting to the end of this area. Just 2 more levels plus the bonus area. I think I'm going to go to the bonus area. I didn't show this last time, but you can fight him and get into that barrel if you try. Just go ahead and get... Oh, no, you can't. The only way you can get in the barrel is to pay the guy, but that's really funny. Like I remember always like when I first saw that as a kid, it made me laugh so hard. Not because of like, you know, violence, but just because it's like really funny. This is the first ice level in the game. And I think that the game designers did a really good job of like making this ice look like real ice. Come on now. Come on. There we go. It's like, it kind of looks like you could just break a piece of that ice off and put it in a drink if you wanted to. But this level also can be a little tricky. So yeah, the level can be a little tricky if you're not too careful. There's the gray barrel Kremling that takes your lives if you let them hit you. But I just got 2 lives, so I don't really feel bad about getting killed there. Basically, I just netted a life. Watch out for the porcupine. We don't want to end up like Chance. But yeah, the thing that makes this level tricky is just the ice physics. you know, ice physics are kind of the reason why I can't get into playing like Mega Man games, because like every time I've ever tried to play Mega Man, the ice physics have always kind of just like I mean, so they're not really ice physics so much as it's like every time he walks, it's like he's walking on ice, and every time he stops walking, he slides. So that's something. That's always like I said, the reason I can't ever really. I missed it. That was the. Whoops. Well, I just missed the bonus area, so that is the fastest way to get back to it. Like, I used to, whenever I would play the game, there would be a point in time when that's literally what I would do, is like if I missed a bonus area or messed up on it and I couldn't just go right back into it, I would just take a hit, because it was like, you know, it would be the fastest way. So I guess it's not the bonus area, but it's like the cannonball you need for the bonus area. So I was kind of half right. That Claptrap just munched on her toes. Did you see that? Gotta find the token. Finish out this level, and then once the level's done, that'll probably be it for this episode, but let's just get there first. Should be right. I think this puts you right out where the whatever you call this thing, target, I guess, end level target. Got some tricky platform. Oh. Well, I'm not ending the episode until this level's finished, so I'm gonna try to keep it 25 minutes, but you know, y'all know better than me at this point, because like you can actually look at the timer. But I can just go straight to the exit. It's like that bonus level in the first Super Smash Brothers, straight to the exit. I think it was in Melee also. It's been a long time since I played Melee. I just kind of felt like there's really no point other than, like, you know, Melee was a really good game, but I don't really feel like there's a point in going back and playing Melee when, you know, Ultimate exists. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But that's going to be it for the episode. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out for a while. You have a great day.